Hello, everyone. I am your host, Ryan, and welcome to Speak Up. Have you ever felt that your accent makes you hesitate when speaking English? Well, today we're exploring how to fix your English accent by using simple, everyday techniques. Picture yourself having smooth, confident conversations and never second-guessing your pronunciation again. I'm excited to break down the key strategies that help make your speech clearer, from mastering individual sounds to mimicking native speakers. Stay with us as we unpack these insights and reveal a few secrets that have changed the way many people speak.
Hi everyone, I'm Priya, and I'm excited to be here with Ryan today as we tackle a challenge many of us face: perfecting our English accent. Imagine speaking with a confidence where every word flows effortlessly, making you feel understood and self-assured every time you talk. Today, we're going to share practical tips that are easy to apply, like recording yourself, practicing with mirror exercises, and embracing techniques that boost your natural rhythm. We're here to provide you with a step-by-step guide that simplifies what might seem like a daunting process. So stick around. You're about to discover how a few small adjustments can make a huge difference in how you speak.
So first, let's understand the importance of a clear English accent. When we say fix your English accent, we don't mean changing who you are or sounding like someone else. It simply means making your pronunciation clearer so that people understand you easily no matter where you're from. A clear accent isn't about being perfect. It's about being understood. When your words are clear, your message becomes stronger. This is the real heart of English accent improvement. It's not about losing your identity. It's about gaining confidence in how you speak.
Exactly, Ryan. And here's the thing. Having a clear accent can really open doors in both personal and professional life. Whether you're in a job interview, giving a presentation, or just chatting with someone, clear pronunciation makes a big difference. People respond better when they can understand you without effort. That's why learning English pronunciation is so important. It's a powerful tool for better communication. When you speak clearly, it shows that you're confident, prepared, and respectful of your listeners' time and attention.
Right. And one more thing I'd add is that accent clarity helps reduce misunderstandings. Sometimes the words we say are correct, but if the pronunciation is off, the listener might miss the meaning completely. This can lead to confusion or awkward moments, especially in professional settings. That's why focusing on accent improvement helps you become not just a better speaker, but also a better communicator overall. And the good news is, it's a skill anyone can improve with practice and the right techniques.
That's true. And what I love most about this journey is that it's not just about sounding good, it's about feeling good when you speak. When your accent is clear and your message is heard, your confidence naturally grows. You start to enjoy conversations instead of worrying about how you sound. So yes, learning English pronunciation isn't just about speech. It's about self-expression. And in today's episode, we'll show you exactly how to begin fixing your accent in simple, practical steps. Ready? Let's jump in.
All right, let's move on to the next important step: assessing your current accent. Before you can fix your English accent, it's crucial to know exactly where you stand. One of the simplest ways to start is by recording yourself speaking. Grab your phone or computer, speak on a topic you're comfortable with, and then listen to the playback. This self-evaluation helps you hear the strengths and areas that need a bit more work. It's like holding up a mirror to your speech. Notice which words or sounds seem off, and pay attention to the overall rhythm and flow. This method is a great first move towards effective accent correction because it gives you a clear baseline of your current pronunciation.
That's right, Ryan. Self-evaluation is the key here. By recording your voice, not only do you become more aware of your accent, but you also begin to recognize common pronunciation challenges. For many speakers, certain sounds or syllables can be tricky, and this practice shines a light on those areas. Maybe you'll discover that you mix up similar sounds, or perhaps certain words just don't roll off the tongue as smoothly as you'd like. Recognizing these patterns is essential because it tells you exactly where to focus your improvement efforts. It's a humble but effective way to kickstart your journey toward clearer speech.
Absolutely, Priya. And knowing your starting point is incredibly important because it sets the stage for all the improvement that follows. Once you've identified which aspects of your pronunciation need attention, you can target those areas with specific exercises and techniques. Whether it's practicing tongue twisters, mimicking native speakers, or revisiting basic phonetics, this self-assessment guides your learning process. Remember, this isn't about perfection right away. It's about gradual progress. With each recording, you'll track your journey and notice how your speech evolves over time, which is both encouraging and motivating.
Exactly. Think of this step as the foundation upon which all your accent improvement strategies are built. Without a clear idea of where you're starting from, it's hard to measure progress. So take your time to record, listen, and even note down the specific sounds or words that are challenging. This detailed feedback is vital for moving forward with targeted exercises and ensuring that every practice session works toward making your English more precise and engaging. By knowing your weaknesses, you can then tailor your practice sessions to address them directly, creating a personalized roadmap to fix your English accent. Let's keep this momentum as we dive deeper into practical strategies next.
Now that you know where you stand, let's dig into the core, mastering pronunciation fundamentals. This means focusing on the building blocks of speech, individual sounds, especially vowels and consonants. Many of us tend to skip or soften sounds without realizing it, and that can affect how clearly we're understood. For example, the difference between ship and sheep is just one vowel sound, but it changes the meaning completely. To start improving, slow down your speech and pay close attention to how each sound feels and moves in your mouth. This awareness is the first step toward correct English pronunciation.
Exactly, Ryan. One effective way to get better at this is to work with minimal pairs. Those are words that differ by just one sound, like bit and beat or pen and pan. Practice them slowly and clearly until you can hear and feel the difference. A good technique here is to exaggerate the sounds at first to train your mouth. Over time, your articulation becomes more precise and natural. These accent reduction techniques may seem simple, but they're incredibly powerful when practiced consistently. It's all about retraining your mouth and ears to work together.
Another great tip is to break down longer words into syllables. Take the word comfortable, for example. Many people say it too quickly, turning it into comfortable, but slowing it down to comfortable helps with clarity. Practicing slowly gives you control, and from there, you can build natural fluency. Also, mirror work helps. Watch your mouth as you speak and match it with videos of native speakers. This visual element supports your understanding of correct English pronunciation and helps lock in muscle memory for clearer sounds.
That's such a great point. And don't forget tongue placement. Many pronunciation issues come from placing the tongue in the wrong spot, like the th sound in think or that. These sounds don't exist in every language, so they can feel awkward at first. Try putting your tongue gently between your teeth and blowing air out softly for think and with voice for that. Practicing just a few minutes a day can bring big improvements. These small accent reduction techniques help train your mouth to form sounds accurately and confidently.
And of course, let's not underestimate the power of repetition. Repeating a word the right way again and again wires your brain to remember it. Listen to native speakers and repeat what they say, matching the rhythm and sound. One great method is shadowing. You listen to a sentence and repeat it immediately, trying to match it as closely as possible. This not only sharpens pronunciation, but also improves fluency and intonation. It's one of the most effective accent reduction techniques out there, especially if you're practicing daily.
Yes! And one last tip. Record yourself practicing these sounds. Then compare your version with the original. This way, you can actually hear what's working and what still needs attention. Over time, this makes your progress more visible and motivating. Remember, correct English pronunciation doesn't come overnight, but with consistent practice of these basics, you'll notice real change.
All right, now let's talk about one of the most effective ways to improve your accent, the shadowing technique. It's simple, but powerful. The idea is to listen to a native speaker, then try to mimic them exactly, like a shadow. You follow their tone, speed, rhythm, and pronunciation. Think of it like singing along to a song, but with spoken language. You're not just repeating words, you're copying the way those words are said. This helps your brain and mouth get used to natural accent patterns without forcing it. And the more you do it, the more natural your own speech starts to sound.
Yes, and here's how to practice it step by step. First, choose a short audio or video clip of a native speaker, something clear like a TED Talk, news clip, or even a movie line. Then play one sentence and listen carefully. After that, pause and repeat the sentence out loud, copying exactly how it was said. Try to match the speaker's speed, tone, and emotion. You can do this several times for each sentence. Then compare your version with the original. Notice what sounds different and adjust. This shadowing technique is one of the best ways to learn by doing.
And a great thing about mimicking native speakers is that it trains your ear just as much as your mouth. When you listen closely, you start to pick up on things like sentence stress, rising and falling intonation, and how some words connect or get shortened. For example, instead of, "What are you doing?" a native speaker might say, "What you doing?" Shadowing helps you hear and copy these natural patterns. Over time, you'll notice that your English doesn't just sound clearer. It starts to feel smoother and more confident.
Exactly, and shadowing also builds fluency. At first, it might feel a bit challenging, especially when trying to match native speed, but that's totally normal. You can start slow, pause more often, focus on short clips, and then build your pace gradually. Consistency is key. Practicing even 10 to 15 minutes daily can lead to big changes. This method isn't about perfection. It's about regular exposure to real everyday speech. That's what makes it such a powerful tool for natural accent adaptation. You're training your brain to recognize and reproduce the flow of English naturally.
And here's a tip to take it to the next level. Stand in front of a mirror while shadowing. Watch your lips, mouth movement, and facial expressions. This helps with alignment and articulation. Some learners even record both the original clip and their shadowed version together side by side. When you listen to both, you'll clearly hear where you need to improve. Little by little, your accent will start to align more closely with the native style. That's the magic of this technique. It's active, focused, and super practical for accent correction.
Totally agree. Shadowing isn't just another practice. It's a mindset shift. You're not just learning English, you're living it, like you're in a real conversation. That's what makes it exciting. Over time, your brain starts treating English sounds as natural, not foreign. That's what we mean by natural accent adaptation. It becomes less about trying and more about flowing. So if you haven't tried it yet, this is the perfect time to start.
Now let's move into something that really makes English sound natural: intonation and rhythm. Even if your pronunciation is correct, if your tone is flat or the rhythm feels off, your English can sound robotic. That's why it's so important to pay attention to how native speakers stress certain words, raise or lower their pitch, and flow through a sentence. For example, listen to how someone asks a question. It usually ends with a rising tone. Practicing this helps a lot with intonation improvement and makes your speaking feel more alive and expressive.
Yes, rhythm and stress are what give English its musical feel. Some words are stressed more than others, and this stress helps listeners understand your meaning. For instance, "I didn't say you stole the money" can have 7 different meanings depending on which word you stress. That's why focusing on spoken English fluency is more than just grammar or vocabulary. It's about sounding natural. You can practice by reading sentences out loud and exaggerating the stress, or clapping along to the rhythm. It may feel silly at first, but it really works.
Exactly. A fun way to work on intonation improvement is through echo reading. Choose a short sentence from a video or podcast, listen to it, and then repeat it immediately with the same pitch and rhythm. It's like singing along, but with speaking. Also, practice the difference between statements and questions. Statements usually fall at the end. Questions rise. These little changes in tone completely shift the message. Intonation is what helps you express emotions. Excitement, surprise, doubt, all through how you say something, not just what you say.
And don't forget about pauses. In natural speech, we don't speak like robots. We pause between thoughts. Learning when to pause gives your speech a nice, smooth flow. Think of it like music. You're not just hitting notes, you're playing with timing. One great way to practice this is with poetry or song lyrics. Focus on where the lines rise and fall and how the pauses create a rhythm. These exercises build both your spoken English fluency and your confidence, especially in conversations or public speaking.
Another helpful technique is recording short paragraphs and focusing just on rhythm and stress. Read slowly, then again with energy and natural flow. Compare your versions and see how small shifts in tone make a big difference. This is a great way to develop your own style while still keeping it close to native rhythm. Over time, your speech will sound more connected, not choppy or forced. It's these subtle touches that move you from good to fluent.
Absolutely. When you work on intonation improvement and rhythm together, your English becomes more dynamic and expressive. Listeners will understand you better, and you'll feel more comfortable speaking in any situation, whether it's a casual chat or a professional setting. These skills take practice, but once they become part of your natural speaking style, you'll see a real boost in how fluent and confident you sound.
All right, so now that we've talked about techniques, let's look at some tools that can really help you fix your English accent. There are so many great apps out there. For example, Elsa Speak is an app that listens to your pronunciation and gives you feedback in real time. It even highlights which parts of the word you're saying wrong, so you know exactly where to improve. Another one is Speechling, which is great for daily speaking practice with native recordings. These kinds of accent training apps are like having a personal coach in your pocket. Super useful for consistent, focused practice.
Yes, and don't forget about YouTube tutorials. There are tons of channels where native English speakers break down pronunciation, accent rules, and common mistakes. Some even compare accents side by side, like British versus American, so you can hear the difference and choose the one you want to focus on. You can also find English pronunciation tools that show mouth positions and tongue placement, which really helps with tricky sounds. The best part? Most of these resources are free and easy to use, so you can practice anytime, even while commuting or doing chores.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for something more structured, online courses are another great option. Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and BBC Learning English offer lessons specifically focused on accent correction and pronunciation. They walk you through the basics and give regular practice exercises. Some even include tests and certificates, which is great if you're learning for your career. These courses often combine videos, quizzes, and speaking drills, so you're not just watching, you're actively improving with every lesson.
Exactly. The key is to use a mix of tools that suit your routine. Maybe use an app for daily practice, a YouTube video for listening and mimicking, and a course for deeper learning. Rotate them to keep things interesting. This way, you're not stuck doing the same thing every day. These resource-driven strategies help you stay motivated and track your growth over time. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent and using the right support to help you fix your English accent step by step.
Now, let's get into the real game changer. Practical speaking exercises you can do every day. One of the best ways to improve your English accent is by simply speaking in front of a mirror. It might sound awkward, but it helps you become more aware of how your mouth moves when saying certain sounds. Try reading out loud while watching your lips. You can even exaggerate the words at first to really feel the pronunciation. This kind of daily accent training is simple, but it makes a big difference over time.
I love that tip, Ryan. Another one is role-playing conversations. Imagine you're in a real-life situation, like ordering food at a restaurant or asking for directions. Speak both parts of the conversation out loud. It's a fun and creative way to practice not just pronunciation, but rhythm, tone, and fluency. Plus, it helps you get more comfortable with everyday English. Combine this with shadowing or mirror practice, and your daily speaking routine becomes super powerful and engaging.
Totally agree. And here's another one. Record yourself speaking for just 1 minute a day. Choose a topic, set a timer, and talk without stopping. Then play it back and listen for things like clarity, stress, or missing sounds. This helps track your progress and shows you where you need to improve. It's a key step in daily accent training because it builds confidence and makes you aware of your speaking habits. Keep those recordings. You'll be amazed by your improvement after a few weeks.
Yes, and don't underestimate the power of reading aloud. Pick a short article or even a children's story and read it with full energy and clear pronunciation. Focus on pausing at the right places and using natural intonation. You can even mark stress points or underline tricky words to practice more. This kind of consistent reading practice is so helpful, especially when you're trying to improve your English accent in a steady, relaxed way.
And for those who have busy schedules, even 5 to 10 minutes of focused practice can go a long way. It's not about practicing for hours, it's about practicing smart. Create a simple routine, maybe mirror practice in the morning, shadowing at lunch, and 1 minute speaking before bed. Just doing that every day builds a rhythm. When you make accent training a daily habit, your brain starts to adjust automatically. And that's the real magic.
Absolutely. The more you repeat good speaking habits, the faster they become natural. That's the whole goal. Feeling confident, sounding clear, and enjoying the process. Make your practice fun, mix up the exercises, and don't be afraid of mistakes. Remember, improving your accent isn't about changing who you are. It's about making your English sound more natural and easy to understand.
Finally, let's talk about something that can really fast-track your progress: professional accent coaching and expert feedback. Sometimes we get stuck because we don't hear our own mistakes. That's where a trained coach or tutor can make a huge difference. They can point out subtle pronunciation issues and guide you step by step. You can find affordable options online these days on platforms like italki or Preply. It's like having a personal trainer, but for your speech.
Absolutely. And even if you can't join a full course, you can still benefit from expert language feedback. Try joining language exchange groups, online communities, or speaking clubs where native speakers or fluent learners can listen to you and give advice. Sometimes one small tip, like adjusting your tongue position or changing your stress on a word, can improve your entire accent. Getting feedback from someone who understands what to listen for is truly powerful.
Another tip is to record short clips of your speaking and send them to a tutor or even a fluent friend for review. Ask for honest feedback. What sounds natural? What sounds off? This kind of real-time correction keeps you moving in the right direction. Plus, you'll become more comfortable with being corrected, which is a big part of learning. It's all about steady progress, and professional accent coaching can give you a clear path to follow.
Yes, and don't forget, you're not expected to sound perfect. The goal is to be clear, confident, and comfortable. Working with someone experienced helps you learn faster, avoid common mistakes, and stay motivated. Whether it's a weekly coaching session or occasional feedback from a native speaker, it adds structure to your practice and helps you build your voice in English, your own clear, unique voice.
And that's a wrap for today's episode on how to fix your English accent. We've covered everything from understanding the basics, practicing with tools, building strong habits, and finally, getting expert support. Remember, accent improvement is a journey, not a race. So keep showing up every day, keep practicing, and be proud of every step you take. Thank you so much for tuning in to Speak Up. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow, like, and share it with a friend who's also on this English learning journey. And hey, we'll be back soon with another episode to help you grow your confidence and fluency. Until next time, keep speaking, keep growing, and never stop learning. Sparkles.